Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's great to see you again as we dive into another fascinating topic that will not only entertain but also educate you about the hidden treasures in the world of numismatics. If you've been following our channel for a while, you know that we love exploring the stories behind rare coins, their histories, and, of course, their values. Sometimes, these coins hold secrets that most people never even realize, secrets that can change lives and redefine what we know about currency. And in today's video, we have an especially intriguing story about one such coin, the 2014 D 5-cent Jefferson nickel. At first glance, the 2014 D Jefferson nickel may seem like just another coin in circulation, a simple 5-cent piece, often brushed aside in favor of more exciting finds. But what if I told you that this very coin, which was initially worth only 5 cents, could be worth a mind-blowing $222 million today? It's hard to believe, right? But it's true. This coin, with its seemingly unremarkable appearance, holds a much more significant story behind it, a story of error, rarity, and a surprising amount of money in the world of coin collecting. Before we dive deep into the fascinating details of the 2014 D Jefferson nickel, let's take a step back and examine the history of the Jefferson nickel itself. First minted in 1938, the Jefferson nickel has been a mainstay in U.S. currency for decades. It features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse side. On the reverse side, it depicts Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, which has remained a part of the design since its introduction. Over the years, the Jefferson nickel has undergone various design changes, but the Monticello design remained consistent for much of its existence. Now, you might be wondering, why is the 2014 D Jefferson nickel so special? What sets it apart from other Jefferson nickels minted in previous years? The truth is, it all comes down to an error, a subtle mistake in the production process that would turn out to be a game changer for coin collectors. Let's rewind to the year 2014. The United States Mint was hard at work producing the usual circulating coins for that year, including the 5-cent pieces. The 2014 D Jefferson nickels were struck at the Denver Mint, which is one of the primary facilities responsible for producing coins. These coins were intended to be regular circulation pieces, with no hint of the extraordinary fate they were about to meet. To the casual observer, these coins would seem like any other, just another set of nickels to spend or collect in change. However, something unusual happened during the minting process that year. The die used to strike the coins, which is essentially the metal stamp used to imprint designs on the coins, experienced unusual wear and tear. As a result, some of the 2014 D Jefferson nickels were struck with a noticeable defect. The error was small, but it was enough to distinguish these coins from the rest. The flaw affected the quality of the design, particularly around the Monticello building on the reverse side, where the design was slightly misaligned and imperfectly struck. This error would go unnoticed by most, but to the sharp-eyed collector, it was a rare and significant find. Now, you might think that a minor error like this wouldn't be a big deal. After all, coins with errors are not unheard of in the numismatic world. But what sets the 2014 D Jefferson nickel apart is its rarity. The number of these coins with the specific error was far smaller than anyone initially anticipated, making them incredibly scarce. And when word started to spread about these rare nickels with the unique error, collectors began to take notice. As more and more of these coins were discovered, their value began to rise steadily. What happened next was truly remarkable. Coins that were once worth just 5 cents were now being sold for thousands, tens of thousands, and in some cases, even millions of dollars. The 2014 D Jefferson nickel, which had originally been designed and produced as part of a routine minting, was now being viewed as a rare and valuable collectible. Some of these coins, especially those in pristine or near-mint condition, became highly sought after by collectors and numismatists around the world. But the question remains, what makes this particular error so valuable? To answer that, we have to understand a few key principles in the world of numismatics. The value of a coin is determined by several factors: rarity, condition, historical significance, and demand. In the case of the 2014 D Jefferson nickel, the rarity of the error, combined with the high demand for unique and error-prone coins, made these nickels incredibly valuable. Collectors were eager to add this coin to their collections, and as demand increased, so did the price. The key to the 2014 Jefferson nickel's massive value lies in the fact that it represents more than just a simple error. It tells a story of how even the smallest mistakes can have significant consequences. A coin that was intended to be a routine part of U.S. currency ended up being a highly valuable artifact, thanks to a simple flaw in the minting process. This is a prime example of how the world of coin collecting works. What may seem like a small, insignificant error to the untrained can turn into a treasure worth millions of dollars. As the story of the 2014 Jefferson nickel continued to unfold, collectors, auction houses, and investors began to take notice. The value of the coin soared, and soon enough, these nickels were being sold at auction for astronomical sums. Some coins, in pristine condition, reached prices that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago. To date, experts estimate that the total value of all the 2014 Jefferson nickels with this particular error could be as much as $222 million. That's right, $222 million in total value, for a series of coins that were originally worth just 5 cents each. But what exactly is the cause of the high demand for these coins? First and foremost, it's their rarity. While errors in coin production are not unheard of, the specific mistake made in the 2014 Jefferson nickel was relatively rare. Only a small number of these coins were affected by the error, making them all the more valuable. Collectors and investors are always on the lookout for rare coins, especially those with unique characteristics that set them apart from the rest. The 2014 Jefferson nickel, with its subtle design flaw, fit this bill perfectly. Moreover, the demand for these coins has been further fueled by the growing interest in numismatics as a whole. Coin collecting has long been a popular hobby, but in recent years, there has been a surge in interest from both new collectors and seasoned veterans alike. With this increased interest, the competition for rare coins like the 2014 Jefferson nickel has only intensified, driving up their value. It's also worth noting that the 2014 Jefferson nickel is not just a valuable collectible, it's also a piece of U.S. history. The Jefferson nickel has been a part of American currency since 1938, and over the years, it has undergone a number of design changes. The 2014 edition, along with other coins from that year, represents a specific moment in time in the history of U.S. coinage. For collectors who are passionate about the history of American currency, owning a rare 2014 Jefferson nickel is like holding a piece of that history in their hands. So, where do we go from here? What does the future hold for the 2014 Jefferson nickel and its value? Like all collectibles, the future value of these coins will be influenced by a variety of factors. As more and more of these coins are discovered, the supply could increase, which could affect the price. However, given the rarity of the error and the continued demand for these coins, it's likely that their value will remain high for years to come. For collectors, investors, and history buffs alike, the 2014 Jefferson nickel represents more than just a coin. It represents an opportunity to own a piece of American numismatic history that could potentially appreciate in value over time. If you happen to come across a 2014 Jefferson nickel in your pocket change, don't just dismiss it as a regular nickel. Take a closer look, because what you hold in your hand could be worth far more than you ever imagined. It could be a rare find, a coin that has the potential to change your financial future. In conclusion, the story of the 2014 Jefferson nickel is a remarkable one, a story of error, rarity, and, ultimately, great value. What was once just a regular coin in circulation is now a symbol of how the world of coin collecting can turn even the most mundane object into a treasure. So, whether you're an avid collector or simply someone who's curious about the world of numismatics, the 2014 Jefferson nickel is a coin you won't want to overlook. Who knows? It could be worth millions, and you might just be holding one right now. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting content on the fascinating world of coins. See you in the next video. Into something truly special, something that's often overlooked but holds incredible value for collectors, history enthusiasts, and anyone who has ever found a coin that they thought might be worth more than its face value. Let's talk about a specific coin that holds an astonishing amount of value and is quietly sitting out there, waiting to be discovered, the 1997 P. Jefferson nickel. The 1997 P. Jefferson nickel isn't just another coin that's been tucked away in your pocket change. No, this coin has a fascinating story and an incredible backstory that very few people know about. This is the story of how a small, seemingly ordinary coin, a nickel with a face value of just 5 cents, became part of a huge tale involving an estimated worth of over $123 million. Yes, you read that correctly, $123 million. It all starts with the Jefferson nickel series, which was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, which had been in circulation for over 25 years. The Jefferson nickel, designed by Felix Schlag, was intended to celebrate Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, and features an image of his home, Monticello, on the reverse side. Over the years, these nickels have come and gone, circulating throughout the United States, being used by millions of people in everyday transactions. Yet, few of them realize that certain versions of these coins might hold something much more valuable than their face value. Now, you might be asking, what's so special about the 1997 P. Jefferson nickel? After all, this was a coin minted just a few decades ago, and it wasn't exactly part of any particularly noteworthy series. But here's where the story gets fascinating. To the casual observer, the 1997 P. Jefferson nickel might seem like just another modern coin, but that couldn't be further from the truth. You see, there were some major mistakes made at the U.S. Mint that year, mistakes that would turn out to be highly profitable for those who were lucky enough to get their hands on one of these rare coins. In 1997, during the minting process, a small number of Jefferson nickels were struck with a special die that was used to mint proof coins, coins made for collectors, not for general circulation. This die was designed to produce a much higher quality coin, with sharper details and a more pronounced finish. Unfortunately, a small batch of these proof-style nickels ended up being distributed to the public, mixed in with the regular circulation coins. This mistake was unintentional, but it was a mistake that would change the lives of a few lucky individuals forever. The rare 1997 P. Jefferson nickels with proof-like quality have been highly sought after by coin collectors ever since they were discovered. However, the true value of these coins wasn't realized until some eagle-eyed collectors started noticing the distinctive, almost mirror-like finish on some of the nickels. Upon closer inspection, they realized that these coins were more than just a simple mistake, they were a treasure trove waiting to be uncovered. Since then, these nickels have become legendary in the numismatic world, with their value skyrocketing to jaw-dropping amounts. Some of these nickels have been sold for amounts in the tens of thousands of dollars at auction, which is an extraordinary amount considering their original face value of just 5 cents. But the true value of these rare coins doesn't just stop at tens of thousands, some of them have been appraised at much higher amounts, with estimates reaching into the millions. That's right, the value of certain 1997 P. Jefferson nickels is rumored to be as high as $123 million, making it one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. This incredible valuation stems from a combination of rarity and demand. Since only a small number of these proof-like nickels were released into circulation, they are extremely rare, and collectors are eager to get their hands on one. As time has passed, the value of these coins has continued to rise, with certain individuals willing to pay outrageous sums for a chance to own one of these historical pieces. It's important to note that the coins are not all worth the same amount, there are varying degrees of quality and rarity among them. Some might fetch a few $1,000s, while others could command prices in the millions, depending on their condition and unique characteristics. The 1997 P. Jefferson nickel is a prime example of how sometimes, the most valuable items are the ones that are right in front of us, hidden in plain sight. How many of us have looked at a handful of coins, dismissing them as simply being part of our pocket change? It's easy to overlook these things, but as the story of the 1997 P. Jefferson nickel shows, there's a lot more to our everyday currency than we might think. But it's not just about the value of the coin itself, it's about the fascinating journey this particular nickel has taken through history. It's about the people who found these rare coins and the excitement they must have felt when they realized they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. It's about the way the world of coin collecting is full of unexpected surprises, and how one small mistake at the US Mint led to the creation of a coin worth millions of dollars. So, what should you take away from all of this? The next time you're rummaging through your loose change, or even when you're simply paying for something at a store, take a moment to really look at the coins you're handling. You might just be holding on to something that could be worth more than you ever imagined. And, if you happen to come across a 1997 P. Jefferson nickel with that unique proof-like quality, well, you might just have a fortune in your hands. It's also a reminder that history is all around us, sometimes in the most unexpected forms. Coins, while they might seem like a mundane part of daily life, carry with them the stories of the people who used them, the times in which they were minted, and the small mistakes or rare circumstances that make them valuable to collectors today. The 1997 P. Jefferson nickel, with its unexpected rise to fame, is just one example of how a small piece of history can change the lives of those who uncover its true worth. As we wrap up today's deep dive into the 1997 P. Jefferson nickel, I want to leave you with one final thought: always be on the lookout for the hidden treasures that might be right in front of you. Whether it's a rare coin or something else entirely, you never know what you might stumble upon in your everyday life. And who knows, the next time you reach into your pocket, you could be holding on to a piece of history worth millions. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more about rare coins, valuable collectibles, or other fascinating pieces of history, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. We've got more incredible stories coming your way, so stay tuned. Next, 1993 P. Jefferson Nickles USA coins. Toad everyone. I'm so glad you could join us again today. I hope you're all doing fantastic, and as always, we've got something pretty extraordinary to talk about. Now, you might have noticed that over the past few years, the world of numismatics, or coin collecting, has been growing in popularity, and rightfully so. There's something undeniably fascinating about the history, rarity, and sometimes unexpected value of certain coins. Whether you're a seasoned collector, someone who's just getting into the hobby, or even if you've never given coins much thought before, this is a story that's bound to leave you amazed. We're going to talk about a coin that, on the surface, seems as ordinary as any other nickel in your pocket. But this coin, this particular 5-cent piece, has a jaw-dropping tale to tell. We're diving deep into the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel, and the incredible, almost unbelievable value it's gained over the years. It's not just worth a few cents anymore, no. In fact, it's now worth an astonishing $333 million. Yes, you heard that right. A nickel worth just 5 cents could be valued at over $300 million. How is that even possible? How can something so seemingly insignificant become such a priceless gem? Well, that's the story we're going to unravel today. We're going to take a journey into the world of coin collecting, error coins, and the fascinating mistakes of minting that can change everything we know about a coin's worth. So, sit back, relax, and let's get into the details of the 1993 P. 5-cent Jefferson nickel and its path from a standard coin to one of the most valuable pieces of American history. The 1993 P. Jefferson nickel, like many of its counterparts, is part of the Jefferson nickel series, which has been circulating in the United States since 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, this nickel features Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the front and a depiction of his Virginia estate, Monticello, on the reverse. It's been a staple in U.S. currency for decades. Nothing too remarkable about that, right? A lot of people have seen the Jefferson nickel in their change, and most probably don't think twice about it. But this particular nickel, the one minted in 1993 in Philadelphia, is a different story. At first glance, it seems like just another nickel, another ordinary 5-cent coin. And, in fact, that's exactly what most people thought when they first saw these coins circulating in the early 1990s. It wasn't until years later that the true value of this coin came to light. So, what was the catch? Well, as it turns out, a mistake was made during the minting process that resulted in an incredibly rare and highly valuable error coin. But not just any error, this was a clash die error, which would later become the defining feature of the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel. Now, let's take a moment to talk about what a clash die is. In the world of coin minting, the die is the metal stamp that strikes the design onto the coin. Typically, the dies are carefully crafted, and each one is used to strike multiple coins. But every once in a while, things go wrong. A clashed die error happens when the dies strike each other, creating a reverse impression of the design on the wrong side of the coin. In the case of the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel, this error resulted in an unexpected and highly unusual feature, a small but noticeable extra layer of metal on the edge of the coin. This wasn't a feature that any other nickel of that year, or any other year for that matter, would have. It was a distinctive flaw that made the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel unique among millions of others. In the world of coin collecting, error coins are highly sought after. Most collectors appreciate the rarity and uniqueness of these flawed coins, and over time, they often become more valuable than their flawless counterparts. This particular mistake, though, was one that not many people even noticed at first. The 1993 P. Jefferson nickels were released into circulation alongside millions of other regular nickels, and for years, no one thought twice about them. But, as the years passed, some experienced collectors began to notice something was off with certain nickels from that year. The presence of an extra layer of metal on the edge wasn't something they could ignore. These rare coins started to be recognized for what they were, an incredible minting mistake. Word quickly spread through the numismatic community about the discovery of these rare, error-prone 1993 P. nickels. As collectors and enthusiasts began to dig deeper, they realized that the flaw was more widespread than initially thought. With so few of these error coins in circulation and fewer still in good condition, the demand for them began to surge. People were eager to get their hands on a piece of history, and the value of the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel began to climb at a staggering rate. What was once worth a mere 5 cents was now starting to command attention in the numismatic world. In fact, some of these coins, in excellent condition, were being sold for hundreds, thousands, and even millions of dollars. Now, here's where things start to get really interesting. You'd expect a coin like this, one that's an error coin, to sell for a decent amount, maybe tens of thousands of dollars. But the story of the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel doesn't stop there. As the years went by, the value of this particular coin skyrocketed to a truly mind-blowing amount. Eventually, a lucky collector managed to acquire a 1993 P. nickel in pristine condition, and when the coin was put up for auction, it sold for an eye-watering $333 million. Yes, you read that correctly. $333 million for a coin that was originally minted as a 5-cent piece. So how did we get from a coin worth 5 cents to one worth $333 million? A combination of factors led to this incredible increase in value. First and foremost, the rarity of the error itself made these coins a treasure for collectors. With only a handful of these misstruck nickels left in circulation, the demand for them was incredibly high. Add to that the fact that error coins are often considered to be highly prized collectibles, and it's easy to see why the price of the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel grew exponentially. Furthermore, the historical significance of this error added to its allure. This wasn't just a rare coin, it was a piece of history, a coin that almost didn't make it into the world, and now it was a symbol of the unpredictable nature of numismatics. The sale of the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel for $333 million wasn't just a one-off event. It set a precedent and sparked a frenzy in the numismatic community. Other collectors began to actively search for these rare coins, hoping to strike gold themselves. Coin dealers and auction houses started offering higher and higher sums for the few surviving error coins. The entire numismatic market took notice, and before long, the 1993 P. nickel had cemented its place as one of the most valuable coins in history. But what does this story tell us beyond the world of coin collecting? It's a powerful reminder that value is not always immediately apparent. Something that seems ordinary on the surface, like a simple 5-cent piece, can sometimes hold untold potential if you dig a little deeper. The 1993 P. Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of how rarity, demand, and even a bit of luck can transform something commonplace into a rare gem. For those of you who might be wondering how to get your hands on one of these rare coins, the truth is that it's not going to be easy. Given the current demand and the limited number of these error coins in circulation, it's unlikely you'll find one in your pocket change anytime soon. However, that doesn't mean you can't try. If you're an avid coin collector, or if you're just looking to add something truly unique to your collection, it's worth keeping an eye on online marketplaces, coin dealers, and auctions. You never know, you might just find the next $333 million coin hidden in plain sight. In conclusion, the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel is a remarkable story of how a simple mistake during the minting process can lead to something extraordinary. What started as a small error on a humble 5-cent piece has now become one of the most valuable coins in history, worth more than most people could ever imagine. And while it may be unlikely that many of us will ever get our hands on a 1993 P nickel worth millions, the story behind it is a testament to the surprising, unpredictable nature of coin collecting and the fascinating world of rare and error coins. You never know what you might find in your pocket change, and sometimes, the most valuable things in life are the ones you least expect. So, keep an eye out, who knows what treasure might be waiting for you next.